The structure for your rental properties is either a paper wall or an absolute fortress to safeguard you and your rental properties from all the risks and liabilities associated with not only the rental property, but with everything else you're dealing with. Guys, this savvy real estate investor or rental property owner will actually use a layered structure to get the protection that they need for their rental properties as opposed to just an LLC. So many mistakes are made with over relying on a single LLC, and I'm going to explain that to you today on why the three-tiered setup is substantially better. My name is David Shoup. I'm the managing attorney of California Business Formations. We're an asset protection law firm located in California, actually in Southern California, and we work with real estate investors and entrepreneurs across the state of California. So let's go ahead and dive right in. In this video, I'm going to explain to you why the asset protection you get from a three-tiered structure is far superior than a single LLC. But to do that, I'm going to explain to you what most people do. Most rental property owners rely on an LLC. They know it, they understand it, they know that their rental property should be in LLCs. But when you over-rely on just one LLC, that's a mistake. Let me explain to you why, okay? So here's the rental property down here, okay? And what people do is they're going to transfer that via grant deed into an LLC. And that makes a lot of sense. They want to safeguard themselves, and then they're up here. That's the owner up here, okay? Right up there, and then that owner is going to own that LLC, okay? So why do people do this? Well, number one, if there is some kind of liability from outside the LLC, they therefore have to attack the LLC to try to do what's called a bail pierce to get through that LLC, because what they want to do is they want to get that money. They want to get that money, that equity in that property, and so LLC is a great tool. Okay, but what about, let me go ahead and just erase this. What about liability from the tenant? Okay, that's what a lot of people want to protect themselves from. They want to protect themselves personally from issues with their tenant. Okay, so basically what you need to understand is that when it comes to a tenant, all right, we got the tenant down here, all right? So what they're going to do if there's some kind of lease issue or destruction of the property that's harmed them or whatever, they're going to attack the LLC, because the LLC is now the landlord. Okay, if they attack the LLC, they get whatever's inside the LLC when they win. All right, so that means that they're getting everything down here, all of your equity, everything that's in that property. They're going to attack that LLC. All right, so whatever originates from inside the LLC gets whatever is in the LLC. You know what's even worse is when people have multiple properties. So now let's say they have another one down here. So now you got another one in there, okay, with even more money. That tenant from property A is going to be able to get whatever's in property B as well, because it's all in the same LLC. So this is not ideal when it comes to protecting the property from the tenant. And especially when you have multiple properties in that LLC, not ideal. This is not the way to do it. And the savvy real estate investor, rental property owner knows that and does a completely different setup. Okay, so let me show you about how this should be done. Okay, so we got this over here. Let's go ahead and erase this. All right. Okay, here we go. That. Okay, got all that. Okay. All right, so what is the three-tiered setup? What is the three-tiered setup? So it's the same thing. You still have the rental property down here. Okay, and that is going to go into an LLC. So that's the same. This limited liability company is what's known as a holding company. It holds the property. But the difference is already, and what we're going to talk about is keep that holding company just a holding company. In the first example, that was actually the operations company and the holding company. Okay, that's what you don't want to do. So what's the difference? How do we do this differently? Okay, so what you actually do is you're going to set up a property management company. That property management company is generally your S corporation. It could be another LLC. A lot of times it's corporations. And this corporation is going to actually have the tenant and the lease and all the vendors and all that stuff. That corporation is going to contract with that. So the lease is actually with the corporation, not the LLC. Okay, so why does this make a difference? So if there's a tenant issue, now the tenant is now going to sue the corporation. Okay, now the corporation will have a minor reserve account, but it does not have the rental property in it. So all that liability with the tenant is now at the corporation, now with the LLC. And then the corporation signs a property management agreement with the LLC. And then now, therefore, what you have here is all that money in that property has nothing to do with the tenant, has nothing to do with the contractor, has nothing to do with anything else other than just hold the property and allow the property management company to rent it. Okay, so this is an ideal situation. So this is the first tier. This is the second tier. Now, what about the third tier? The third tier, what you want to do is you actually, in most cases, you want to own this LLC by an out-of-state LLC. Okay, this is what's known as a parent company. Okay, so this parent company up here, okay, will now own this California LLC. California LLC now becomes a subsidiary, and the parent company at the top will own the subsidiary. Why do people do that? Well, because, for example, if you put that parent company in Wyoming, Wyoming doesn't disclose ownership, so now you have complete anonymity. And then not only that, but now if someone wants to try to attack that California LLC, not only do they have to get through this LLC to get to you, they also have to get through this LLC too. So now there's twice as much barriers between yourself and any liability that happens to get to that California LLC. And there's a whole nother layer. Okay, so this allows you to expand your real estate portfolio safely while also protecting your identity and really shielding you from lawsuits. And this up here is the third tier. So guys, hopefully this is helpful. Make sure you like and subscribe to these videos if you want more great resources like these. And if you'd like to get in touch with California Business Formations and my team, our contact information is below. So hopefully it's been helpful. Take care.